Come back in.
Unmute.
Unmuting. And we're back. Everyone, we are back. Second half, episode 3, Big Trouble in Little Temple. And there's lots of morality things going on. And yeah, I discussed this with Virgil, and I liked his idea. Actually, what's her name? Mela. Melia? Mela.
Malin?
She, like I said, we'll use her mechanically since I couldn't find what I was looking for. Now, since you roleplayed so well and rolled so well as well, I'm going to say she's going to be good for 2 uses as far as when you need a diversion or a distraction or something in that manner. Like, oh gosh, we need to get out of here. You know, so anybody can use this if they're with her at that time. So, does that sound good?
Sounds good, yeah.
Alrighty. So you step in to the Buxom Barrels, and it's a place that's lit low burning lamps, and you can smell scented oil from the lamps. There's also a kind of a light bluish green smog of pipe leaf and tobacco hanging near the higher part of the room. And you go in and you see like there's this really nice tavern area to the left, and then over to the right, like a sitting area with lots of cushioned pillows and couches. And there are scantily dressed people, we'll say both men and women, to be fair, of all races that we've seen here. And there's lots of clientele as well. It's kind of a low murmur. There's like, I don't want to say jazz music, but the equivalent of that in the medieval times of a small band in the corner, like just playing this low music, taking requests. And this is the atmosphere you step into. And there's this human woman, raven dark hair, bright, sharp blue eyes, and low-cut gown, who steps up to you, and she's like, "Good afternoon. I am Mistress Beatrix. How can I serve you today?"
We're just looking for a place to stay for right now.
Forgot about that.
But he didn't, and that's the good part. and
Yes.
she's like, "All of my lovelies are here to bargain with. The bar's over there. Please come in and make yourself comfortable. Do not hesitate to ask if you need anything at all." And you guys find yourself swept up in it. And Mela finds a kind of I don't know, say maybe a corner, like a booth, something like that maybe. And you guys get some drinks going on. There's plenty of pipe leaf and alcohol and all things to go around. And I was going to ask, or I was going to say maybe, I would like if everyone would, let me just find my moves here, would like to defy danger with your con to see if you can endure the seduction of the atmosphere. I think this would be a lot of fun to have things go wrong with. Not bad. Not bad.
Me and you, outsider, roll the same numbers.
Yes, you did.
Let's see here. I'm like looking through my items to see if there's anything that can help me, but no, I don't think so. Just a con?
Yes.
Good luck.
Pull that up for you.
Or bad luck. It might be interesting.
Oh, that'll be some XP for me. There.
Mark XP.
So
And
yeah.
you could also use your new friend as the distraction here if it comes to it. Leo, let's see. You guys get a booth. You're talking.
I'm sure it would be the pipe leaf, the sweet smell, that would tempt me over to something.
It's you are sitting down with Mela, and she's like, "All right, I want to know exactly what you guys are here to do." And as Pederin and Sanguinius start to discuss with her, you realize after a minute or two that Leo is nowhere to be found.
I'm probably just like, I think I heard someone talking about smelting. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I would trust him. I mean, it's part of my bond with him.
I have no reason not to.
So Leo's gone for the moment. We'll come back to him. Here's the thing, Sanguinius. I mean, obviously, all things in relative, moderation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I have a choice for you.
Okay.
You will either totally abstain from everything, which might stand out a little bit as you're in a place that abstaining usually doesn't happen, or you can go wholeheartedly into enjoying your time here.
Wow. Okay. I like how you talked about balance and then give me a choice of absolutes. You damn Sith. All right. I think he'd probably end up standing out and abstaining because he'd probably order like a water or something from the bar just so that he can try and keep his wits about him in case he needs them. Like he knows where he has to go. He just doesn't know how exactly to get there without being seen or noticed, even though he's probably being seen or noticed right now.
Sure, and that could be part of the discussion that you're having with your new friend here, right? Pederin.
Also,
go ahead.
If you don't mind, I wanted to have a short convo with Pederin.
Sure.
He would probably turn to look at you and say,
I don't know if I have to talk like this to you, but just in case I do. Why have people given themselves to all of this different?
and he kind of looks around.
Decadence. If they no courage or honor of their own.
I think your accent might be too good, my friend.
I am attempting to make it better. It has been a long time since I have had to entertain children, and that is the last time I've had to use a voice.
I see.
Can we just like flash back to you like reading a children's book in like a bunch of different funny voices? I'd love that.
He's on his pilgrimage at this time, I think, almost, right? In a small village somewhere.
Yeah. There's a village called Wayland. W-E-Y, we'll say L-I-N. And in the village, this is like towards the western edge of Astoria, and it depicts him like talking about a story where Sanguinius himself had killed several driders along with his companions, his squires, as it were, the trainees that he was supposed to train and protect along the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a sound like and does that with his hands, and he says, "And I knew at that moment there was no hope for them. There was no way for them to communicate the ideals of Damas. Therefore, there will be no worship of Damas for these creatures. So I slew them down to the last one."
And then we get like one of the kids jumps up and he's like, and the other one's like, "Slay the beast!" And they like chase him around.
Yeah.
Got sticks and everything. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yep. We see this. It's a good flashback. Thank you.
Yep.
We come back and you're sitting at the table talking about if you can pull off this accent or not, which you're doing at the moment. So you're sitting there and you're talking to Malia, who after Leo's disappeared, she's like, "So, tell me, what is your true purpose here? What is your goal? How can I help?"
Are you asking me or Pederin?
both of you. She's talking to both of you because there's one last. So she would have talked to all three of you, but just the two of you. She's just asking you. She sips her wine.
Sanguinius says, after he kind of like looks around and makes sure to pull down his hood bit, he says,
There was a mission of great importance here. I do not wish for anyone to get hurt that does not need to. Any persons who might be willing to come to the light of courageousness and righteousness. But there is a place here, people here, who must be stopped. Darkness and greed spread like a plague. I intend to stop that plague.
She goes, well, you'd probably want the leader, the one that runs this whole operation, and her name is Oresha. She is an elf woman. She knows dark magics. And she is the one that is in charge of the gold production. And,
I see.
Pederin, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Let's see if I can word this correctly.
if you're checking to see whether he knows Oresha, maybe have him spout lore or something.
That's up to him. I was going to ask him a question about his role,
Okay.
but Oresha is something he can spout lore about if he wishes.
Okay.
But
I'll do it. But first, your question.
no, actually, I want to think of how I want to phrase it first. So I'll let you spout lores.
Okay. That's an int check. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I know all about her.
That's a 3. Without I transition over,
Yeah, I
I'll just
know.
say it out loud. You've been gone so long that you've never heard of this woman. You've never heard of Malia that you're talking to now. There's a lot of people that you don't know because of your extended length of absence from Velashar and surrounding
But
areas.
you do get to mark experience.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Don't forget to do that. So you find with Malia being one of your kin, being in such confliction of what you know your people to have been like at least several years ago before all this Ola stuff started, right? You find yourself, and this is up to you, either falling crazy in love with her or putting up your stonewall defense and really disliking her. What does Pederin come to feel about her as the conversation continues? It's gonna be so good
I'm
either
gonna have
way.
to put up my stone wall.
What's that? Stonewall?
Gonna have to. Yeah.
You just find that her way
I don't
of
trust
switching lives and changing the elven heritage and now suddenly jumping in with you guys, just you find her decisions chaotic and impulsive, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you're looking at her and she's talking to Sanguinius, she goes, yeah, the operation is crazy. I can tell you about it. It's a large 4-story factory building. They bring the gold ore in, and they come in one end of the building, and they load it in a conveyor belt of some sort. I think it's powered by animals or something. No one is allowed inside the walls unless you work there, and it's only rumors that I've heard. And then it's changed inside. Yeah, animals, I'm not sure. Domesticated wild animals, ones with endurance, I'm not sure. And then it's processed inside and it comes out loaded on a wagon, and then they take it. I know they take it every month. Every week there's a new shipment of gold, and it goes north, east, west, and a different direction. I don't know, but they take it to different people. But that's as much as I know. But it's heavily guarded all the time, and it's busy during the day, and production ceases at night. And as she's telling you this, we transition over, and what do we find Leo doing? Well, who's he? Is he carousing with anybody? Is he alone? Is he sharing a hookah? I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm probably just smoking up in the lounge area. with like the dancing naked horde. And I'm probably just like got a little loose lipped, and I'm just like asking around about secret religious meetings. So I heard of any good secret religious meetings lately? Basement stuff.
Basement stuff. Oh, what was the halfling names? Okay, hobbit names are good enough. Okay, so you're sitting there chilling out with a halfling. His name is.
All these hobbit names are trademarked. That's weird.
Yeah, as I say it, like there's like a bleep across my mouth. So we don't. It's Let me just here we go. I'll put it in the chat. His name be Hobson Whitfoot.
I'm like, look, Hobson, level with me here. We both know there's secret underground religions floating about, meeting in basements. Spill the beans.
Okay. Let's see. He goes, I can tell you that, but I'm looking for a little extra jingle in my pocket before I just go out telling you everything. You want to parlay with this guy?
Well, first I want to lecture him on the evils of coin, obviously.
Okay. Let's see.
So I'll say, look, I've got what you want, but you shouldn't be wanting it. All this coin passing hand back and forth, it has a taint to it, and it moves from person to person, corrupting them. And I feel bad inflicting you with more of it. Perhaps someday you'll see that the coin isn't what you want. The coin isn't going to make you happy.
Maybe one
But
day.
here you are. I will give him 5 coin and be like, who do you know that I can talk to about honorable, holy men in the city?
All right. Let's see. So we just trading up. Are we? Let's see. Parlay. You give them something they want. I think parlay with a bonus, right? From the leaf. You want to give me a?
Yeah, it's a parlay +1.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a plus charisma +1. Oh.
Okay, so here's a charisma roll. We'll add +1 to this.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Ooh, that got you up there. So he's looking at you through really squinty red eyes, and he gets close to your ears, and he's like, if I tell you stuff, you gotta promise that you ain't gonna tell anyone where you got the information from, because I don't feel like being hanged up or thrown in the pit for the creature to eat. That's what happens to people around here.
I'm like, look, Dodgson, Mr. Fitbut, or whatever your name is. It's not a problem. I'm fairly stoned.
All right then. All right.
I'm like writing down. What was writing down like whatever he tells me. I'm like, anything that's not getting written down tonight is gone forever.
He goes,
I like how he's probably writing it down, but it's like just different fragments and stuff. None of it really makes cohesive sense.
Later we'll have to deconstruct it all.
Yeah.
Maybe if we smoke another use of the halfling week, we can understand it.
all right.
Well, when we enter the halfling verse.
The halfling first.
He goes,
The up, high, down.
the up, high, down? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just got a little Stranger Things reference knocked in there. Oh, man. You want to speak. She's a human lady. You'll find her over at the Bloody Stool, which is one of our more predominant fighting pits. That's why they least suspect him, but her name is Numbers Jaden, because she runs numbers on the fight. That's her superficial thing, though, just so she can survive. But you can talk to her. You can catch her alone some point. It's said that she holds, on Moonday evenings, secret basement services to the human god known as Damus. You probably know about him since you're human. She might be a good one to talk to. But
All right. All right.
as we discussed, we're way too high, and we're not going to remember this later.
Right, I'm writing down Moonday, Thomas, numbers, Jaden,
Yeah.
or 420.
Yeah.
Anyways, look, Rogerson, I really appreciate this. I should get back to my party,
That's fine.
but I will catch you later, okay?
Yeah, this is where I'm usually at. And
All right. I stumble to the wrong table and then to the correct table.
okay. I think what we're going to do is maybe a little switcheroo on your character sheet. I think your physical injury has healed at this point. Your
What's it called? Weakness?
yeah, your weakness. But I think it might be fair to say that you have the wisdom negative, the confused.
Okay, yeah. So I've like had a nice rest and like a drink and a smoke, but I am feeling a bit confused. All right.
just a touch, just a touch.
You're embracing the party life too much.
As you stumble back to the table, you guys suddenly hear this huge gonging coming from near the center of the city, like just a bow, bow. And it does that about 5 times, and it fades. And you see people look up, and they're like, oh, ooh, oh, that sucks. Or, that's too bad.
And I'll lean over to the next table and I'll be like, oh, when was the last time you heard that, eh? No, like when was it? I can't remember.
Some dwarf's just sitting there, and he's looking at you like he's heavy in his cups, and he's like, oh, by my last count, I think it is 5 days or 6 days. I don't know. I'm in here all the time. It always seems like night. And he like puts his face down on the table.
Okay, so I at least know it's not like a thing that only happens if
Malia,
aliens are attacked.
Malia's like, someone's about to die. That's what it means. Do you want to see it? It might give you some perspective of what happens around here when someone tries to steal from Oresha.
I'd like to spout lore and see if I've ever heard this, because this is like a primarily human and dwarven developed civilization here, like this little city here. So I might have heard something alike to this.
Like the public execution
Type of thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Nice.
Do pretty well.
So, nice. 11 plus. That's. And then when I tell you what I tell you, you're gonna have to tell me how you know this. Okay.
Okay.
So let me just flip open my one little handy dandy little page here so I can read my own stuff. Oh, where'd you go? I think we're up. Oh, okay. So this is something you've heard. Oresha, or well, whoever runs this place, sometimes people, workers in particular, since gold's become a popular thing, once in a while people try to help themselves to a little bit of that in the production stages, or whatever. And if they're caught taking from the production company, the smelting process, they are then executed in public to teach everyone else a lesson. The manner of the execution is, and we can think of Return of the Jedi a little bit here, they are taken to a public area, and it's like a big grandstand built up with this pit in the center. And the guilty party is then tossed into the pit where a creature that they have captured is kept. And therefore people watch entertainment as the creature chases the person around and eventually devours them. And the gong tolls every time, 5 tolls, to announce this is happening for those that are around should come and watch. And that's what's happening now. You're not exactly sure. Actually, your roll's pretty good. You've heard it's a gigantic one-eyed creature that's found on the southern side of the southern mountains. There. How do you know this information?
Okay. So I probably know that an execution is happening most likely due to theft from the 5 rings. But as for the gong itself, I probably haven't heard this since some of my time in the West here. I at one point went to a village, we'll call it Klakos. I typed it in chat.
Got it.
Like it.
And in Klakos, they were a very agrarian society. They didn't have complications like money or religion even at this time. It was more so, hey, we just founded the city. We put up a few basic wooden spikes for walls, and we've got some farmland here next to a river. And at one point, Sanguinius had gone there to spread the word of Damas and to help establish a temple. And probably about the second day he was there, he heard the same kind of gong before, and it seemed like someone had stolen some of the wheat harvest from another person. We'll say Jason, the thief, had stolen from Marcos, or we'll say Marcus, the farmer.
That's not good.
Yeah, and Jason had stolen a couple bundles of wheat, and Marcus needed it. Like, it was the last bit that he had, and not only did he already consume the wheat, they almost didn't catch him. When they did, they didn't really hold like a full-on like hanging or anything, but someone had a sword. They brought him before Marcus, and after a short conversation, Sanguinius probably didn't hear this conversation. They just shanked him right through the heart. Ooh. And raided his property, and basically took whatever was left.
Okay. Well, justice was served, and no thieving definitely went on the down low for quite a while after that, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. As we come back from this little flashback here, are you now? Let me ask: what are you guys doing? Are you guys going to see this? Are you staying there? What are you doing?
Sanguinius gets up and looks towards the door, and then he looks back towards Leo.
I'm going to see it.
All right, we'll go. On the way, I show him my notes about numbers Jaden and the bloody stool. Did I draw this picture, or did Dodge draw this? I don't even remember. I'm confused.
I put a hand briefly on Malin, and then just kind of exit out of the establishment.
She follows, unless you tell her not to. So you
is there like people, like is it like a big attraction? Are there people obviously going to see this?
Yes, it's probably this location is probably just about a block north of the main production building. So it's only a couple blocks for you guys, and it's kind of like an arena. It's probably built up about 50 feet tall. You can enter and go up into the stands, and it's just a bunch of wooden benches planked all around that people kind of crowd into. And you can, as you hear, like Man's like, yeah, they have other events and special festival holiday stuff here, but this is also the gallows, the main gallows of the city.
Wow.
Well, everyone's gathering around since we're like down by you said we're pretty close to the large building, the production facility.
Yeah, you're about another city block to the south. It stands alone in its own. Like there probably used to be like, I don't know, 7-8 houses there, but they were cleared to build this 4-story building. It stands out.
So I'm just gonna go down to like the road that goes from there, and see if I can see like an obvious worker uniform of people that are coming from that direction. Like if I can determine what you wear if you work down in the production facilities, or if there are people just wearing all kinds of different clothes, or do they have like a protective leather smock that they all have or anything.
That's fair. Study. Do you want to discern realities? Would that be it, or would it be just a?
I mean, unless you just want to tell me, if it should be pretty easy to determine whether people are wearing one thing or there isn't a bunch of people.
Most of the workers are busy, but you do see a couple that would come, and they would wear, at least some of them, depends. Some are blackened from the soot and some of that stuff. Some smell like straw.
So those are
and hay.
obvious workers because they're like horribly disgusting.
They have what the thing that you find, despite what they're wearing, they all have badges or like patches that are sewn into their clothing, either on the front or like on the shoulder or even on the back, or maybe their caps if they're wearing caps. And it's a fist, like a gauntleted fist, holding like a bag of coin, and the coin is kind of spilling out. And that's definitely not a symbol you've seen before. But that is the commonality for those who work in and around this place. But yeah,
is there anyone like announcing or saying like, hey, this is the dude who stole from us, or this is the guy who did this or this, and this is what we're going to do
for his lady time?
That part is coming, but it's not happened yet. It's the stands are filling out, and you can see that there is like a lone, like two soldiers. So like it's all the way around, and then on one end, it's a pretty circular place. We'll say actually it's a little more oval. So on one end of the oval, there's kind of like a raised structure that comes out, and there's like a plank that comes out from there, like a building that kind of comes out and it hangs over the arena. And there's like two elven guards that stand just inside a portal there, and that's where basically everything is going to come from. So the crowd fills out. It's noisy. It gets silent as you shuffle.
I know exactly what I'm doing during this time.
So you're not with them, right?
No, well, I walked down the road, so like everyone's filling out and they're watching while I'm like, kind of right down the road, like you said, like a half a block away.
Sure.
But then I walk at all these guys that are coming to watch, so they're like filling in at the back a little bit, maybe, trying to get near clumps of workers. And then if people like put down their coats or like take off their hat and put it down, I'm gonna start stealing clothes with. I want like 3 or 4 sets of clothes if I can get them. Or clothes items with badges on them.
I hear what you.
I'll wait until like the moment that they like throw the guy into the pit, and then I'll start like snatching shit up.
Okay, so when you do, it's going to be one of your tricks of the trade moves or something like that, right? Pickpockets. Okay, so we'll come back. We'll come back to that in a second here. Okay, that's fine. So you file in on some of the ground level grunts that have probably the worst seat. But you're in and amongst some of the workers, and you're kind of like, kind of, all right, let me get some room, get behind. I can still see, okay.
Oh, I hope there's a lot of blood, I guess. All right, guys? Oh.
This one-eyed dwarf, he's got a patch over his eye. He's like, there always is. Ha ha, right, lads. And they're like, yeah, that's what you get for stealing.
Yeah.
And then the crowd goes silent as this huge... Well, he's not huge, but he's very built. You even could tell he's wearing simple robes, and he's wearing this metal helmet that has spikes all on it. And he's an orc, and he steps out on the platform above, and he just waits. Everybody goes silent. And his arms are crossed in a very menacing style, and he's like, "We try hard to run a prosperous city, to feed and clothe all of our citizens." But when one decides to take from us without earning it, it hurts all of us. And so punishment must be meted. See the fate of one who would steal the coin from Oresha, ourselves, and of course our great, powerful deity, Ola herself. Bring him. And he steps back, and a couple of guards at sword point push out this small little halfling, and she's scared to death. And he's like, now feed her and watch her bones crumble to dust and blood and gore, as our city is protected from the thievery that might infiltrate it. And she's screaming and she's begging and she's thrown off and she falls into the pit.
And I just start like grabbing people's clothes.
As this happens,
Whoever's like has the worst view, so they have to work hardest to like see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
as this happens, Sanguinius is just like grinding his teeth. His fists are clenched, and I think as she is about to be dropped into the pit, he's going to try and run to dive over and grab her before she falls.
Oh.
Okay. I definitely want a +1 for that because everyone's gonna be fucking amazed that this is happening.
Okay. All right.
Can I
Right.
get +1 on my stealing roll for his action?
I'm definitely okay with that. Why don't you go ahead and do that first, and then we're gonna come back to Sanguinius and Pedrin and.
A 9. Oh, what's my bad thing? What happens?
It's just to choose one instead of choose two. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. 7 and 9, you still do it, but GM will offer you 2 options between suspicion, danger, or cost.
Okay, what are my 2 choices?
2 options. Okay, it's either gonna be danger or suspicion. Ooh, this is tough. It's just got crazy. I was like, they're not gonna do anything here. Of course, he's a paladin.
No,
of course he is.
I'll go with danger. That's fine. Like if I got the stuff, so yeah, I grab it all. What happens?
You grab enough for several outfits, and then the one-eyed dwarf. Okay, so like Sanguinius is like reaching his arm over. We're gonna go to your defy danger roll in just a moment here. Pedrin's probably like, okay, well this has happened. And like,
What happens?
and Miley is like, oh god, the voice was fine, but now he's, oh no, and she's just like, what? And Sanguinius is like trying to reach out over the top balcony as this halfling falls.
Oh no, I'm like fucking bolting. I'm like running, trying to grab her like basically out of the air
as she falls. Okay.
Yeah.
He goes like cross the gap to do like flying tackle, right? Like
yeah.
Are you gonna leap out into midair and like break her fall, like that type of thing, or try to like reach over and grab her from a ledge? Like,
well, how big is the pit where this monster is? Apparently,
I would say the pit's probably, and it's oval shape, right? So it's probably roughly like 30 yards wide by about 15 to 20 yards wide. So I'm trying to go oval here. So like it would be quite a stretch. Now a defy danger. We're gonna see what happens.
Regular physics. This whole time we've been doing pretty epic physics.
That's true. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
I was back flipping onto fences like last session.
Yeah. So okay.
And you're not in your armor either. So.
That's true, but I do have my armor with me, and I have like all my stuff with me, other than the hammer, of course. Here's what I want to try and do, and this is I won't like assume that any of this happens, but
sure.
What I want to try and do is like this feeling in his chest that this is wrong just wells up in him, and he saw this happen in Klakos and he couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't stop Marcus from killing Jason. He couldn't stop the town from thinking that this was just okay. He's more civilized than this whole thing. And he's just going to dart and bolt forward. And he's going to try and just like slide, like running and then sliding very dishonored like, and just kind of like catch her as she falls and probably try to use the momentum to springboard himself forward across the gap.
That's awesome. We're going to come back to that in just a second because you do that.
Okay.
And you spring out to midair and like freeze there as we come back. Leo, as you take the last cap, getting yourself a couple complete outfits to wear, the one-eyed dwarf turns back to you and he sees you as you're tucking stuff away. But then he looks under your cloak and he's like, wait, What is that there? And you look down and you see that he's looking at the hammer that's tucked under your robes or your cloak. He's like, that belongs to Captain Dimpike. I can know that hammer anywhere. Where did you get that?
Say, oh, you recognize that. Do you recognize these? And then I am going to reach out the screen and grab Malin, pull her in, and then like undo the back of her shirt. And run in the other direction.
Oh.
So I like to spend one distraction to get the out of here. I'm gonna run to the. I'm just gonna take off, unfortunately for these guys, but I'm gonna run out of here with all my goodies and go to the Bloody Stool, the only other location that we all know of in the city.
Okay, her bodice bursts open, revealing everything, and the dwarves are like, "You can't, oi." And the distraction one has worked. Pedrin's just like kind of sees all of that happening, but maybe he's distracted by Sanguinius's leap, and we're gonna come back
just
to
everything happening.
Yeah, which is more distracting, the boobs or the guy leaping over the like one-eyed monster to save the lady? I don't know.
I think it's more of a situation where it's like what's happening? Like, this has all derailed so quickly.
Reality is breaking as I see it.
Okay, I'm gonna have you defy danger. I think with the strength. I just feel you're powering through this entire thing. You're powering through the crowd. You're leaping, stepping off of, the thing. You're catching her in midair, and you're landing hard in the pit, right?
I'm gonna try and leap over it if I can, but at the very least, I want to as we're falling down, put her on top of me so that she doesn't take as much damage.
Okay, let's do.
So his goal is to make it across.
Yes, that's my goal.
Okay, and I think your strength would have to carry you all the way across. So I think that my random roll to decide that actually worked out. So,
I mean, I have that is a possibility. I have a +2 in it.
Okay, defy danger with strength, my friend.
Oof, almost.
9. So close.
Okay.
I really don't think there's any situational bonuses for you here.
Yeah. No, this is all me.
In midair, there's not much to help out.
So you power right and you catch her, but as you're trying to steer yourself through the air, okay, so you're just and you can land safely. She's gonna be fine. However, you are a different story. If you steer yourself and land in the pit, you won't take any damage, but you're in the pit. However,
right.
If you make it to the other side where it's crowded with people, you're not only going to hurt yourself, but you might possibly hurt people as you land on them on the other side. Yeah, no, that's a.
I'm just gonna give a little golf clap for that Dungeon World GMing right there.
I got to go into the pit for a number of reasons. I don't have too much HP left, and he would do whatever he can not to hurt people who are innocent or didn't deserve it.
I understand. And that is what happens. And you land safely in the... Let me go back to my Hobbit names. And you grab her. She screams. She's like, what? And you hit the ground, and you guys are fine. And she's like, what are you doing? She goes, you just killed yourself. And you hear this orc like, oh, we seem to have a good-hearted citizen. That happens once in a while. It's just more fun for everyone. And the crowd just starts going nuts as this cage, I forget what they call it, the spiked, the spiked thing that comes down in castles. Oh, the barrack, the portcullis on the end. Mm-hmm. Underneath the platform opens up into a dark hole. As you're recovering and holding her, she's like, not that it matters, but my name is Sarah Longfoot, thank you. you shouldn't have saved me. That was stupid, but I thank you. And I want to go to Pedrin real quick. Pedrin, you've just witnessed a whole bunch of crap. What do you do?
As soon as I see him fall in that hole, I'm going to use my elemental mastery.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm gonna rise the earth in which he landed, and I want him to like rise him out of that pit.
Pillar up, just like...
Yeah, pillar up.
Oh, all right. Let me. So that is study. Okay, what is it? What's it called?
That's
Elemental.
wisdom. Yeah, elemental mastery.
Elemental mastery. All right, are we still on the right screen here? All right, so Leo got away with a whole armful of clothes and but short one elven friend. She just made a whole bunch of other friends. And Sanguinius lands and she's talking to Sarah, who's sitting on his chest, and the portcullis is opening. The crowd's booming. The orc's just like, oh, great times. Suddenly, possibly the earth starts to shift, but we'll find out as you go ahead and roll plus wisdom.
Well, it is gonna shift. It just depends on how it's gonna shift. Okay.
Oh, nice. So you call them the spirits of Earth. 10 plus, you can choose 2.
Mm-hmm. I'm
curious what it looks like.
Yeah.
For when we're looking at you, like I want to get like we get like the shaking earth with like everyone in the pit, but then I want to get like a pan over to what you look like while you're doing this.
I like that idea.
I'm just like kind of holding one hand like this and then just rising, like just really focusing on not trying to screw this up.
Well,
Yeah.
There's like maybe
I'm
like
just
little,
like
little like
fucking.
dirt particles start like floating around your feet.
I'm just like this.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Hi, I'm Sanguinius. Nice to meet you.
And
she's still standing on
I'm
your
gonna
chest.
choose,
Okay.
and I'm
Yeah.
gonna choose to retain control, and the effect I desire comes to pass.
Oh. So nature's price is going to get paid again, isn't it?
Again.
So you want him to get out of the pit with her, or him?
Mhm.
Okay. Is it both of them or just Sanguinius?
Both of them.
All right. The effect you desire comes to pass, and you retain control as this mountain or column of dirt lifts them up and deposits them into like the first layer. And people are like getting out of the way, like and they back away as you deposit them in a pile of soft dirt, silty loam, and they just boom, they just land right there. And people are like, what kind of magics are these? Is there Russia here? What's going on? And then you hear the orc bellow, and he's like,
yeah.
we have a cheater.
I get up and I like push myself to my feet. I'm like, and I look back at her and I say, in my normal voice, because I'm done with like pretending. I'm like,
Just stay behind me. If you stay behind me, no harm will come to you. You will pay for your crimes. The death is too heavy a toll.
Okay, I agree to that. She's looking at you with like the eyes the size of small dinner plates.
She's like, that's what I told my lawyer to say. I mean, we're on the same page.
Exactly. You have the orc is just like, get them back in the pit, but his voice is drowned out suddenly as this bellow, this unearthly, monstrous bellow just roars out of this blackened pit, and this creature starts making its way out of it, but you're safely, well, kind of, you're about 15, you're probably about 20 feet up outside of this wall. Pedrin, you have people around you, like Melia's next to you. She looks at you, she's like, what did you do? She goes, I thought you were keeping a low profile. And people are like backing away from you right now. They're just like, and you're just, here's the thing. It was awesome to participate, and like the blood of battle is in your veins right now. I mean, you're a peaceful guy for the most part, but right now you're feeling just like your adrenaline is pumping because you're participating in this craziness. Gold, violence, it's great. What do you do?
Veteran's turning into a regular gangster.
Yeah.
I got gold, I got power.
He just pulls out
God,
his double
I'm turning
clocks and
into
starts
Goomba.
shooting his way out of there. All right.
Yeah.
So, is nature's prices, I'm feeling more like of a bloodlust.
Yep.
Well, I had this idea already. I'm gonna do another elemental mastery.
Oh, what are you doing and what element is it?
I'm breaking up the crowd with air.
Like, so you can escape? Like, behind you? Or everywhere? Or like, what's your...
Just to like break up the crowd to just a better path for us. Just
like part the seas, like Moses, part the people.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to do a storm, a bit of a storm gale.
Okay. Go ahead and roll wisdom again. Whoa! Blasting and relaxing. What are your two effects here?
And because I am bloodthirsty, I'm not retaining control. So, the effect I desire comes to pass, and I avoid paying nature's price.
So you don't go further down the rabbit hole with your dark moralities, and as you turn and just like, I shall pass, unlike Gandalf or whatever, and you part the Red Seas, but in this case the Red Seas are just a bunch of common folk, and they just get blasted to the side, and they get blasted, and like you need like 5 feet. And like 30 feet is cleared out. People are falling. People fall backwards. Some people get pushed, and they start falling into the pit. And some get blasted out of the door. And yeah, some people go flying in the air like debris. And they're just like, oh God, no, get out of the way. And Melia was with you, but you don't really like her, so you just lost track. And you're suddenly free to leave. What do you do?
I yelled to Sanguinius, get out of here! And I run to...
Sanguinius is on the other side. He's on the other side of the arena. So he's probably not even seeing what's happening, maybe. Excuse me.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm using this to get
the hell out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Excellent craziness just happened, I think. Sanguinius, people are backing away from you. Not quite as much of a gape as down the other side, but your back is probably turned to the arena. And you hear Sarah going, what is going on over there? And then you hear the roaring of this monster coming out. But then there's people, like they're backing away, but you hear the similar tromp of like guard feet coming your way. What do you do?
And then I'm sure the screams of the people as they're torn apart by the beast, right? I mean, this is bad news.
That's going to happen, yes. People are screaming and falling. And I mean, maybe you're looking around. It's up to you if you think you'd notice that. And this creature, I mean, if you don't even see the creature yet unless you look actively, but... yeah, there's chaos everywhere. What do you do?
I take probably the briefest of moment to close my eyes, not really knowing which way to go, who to attack, who to defend. And I'm going to pray to Damas and ask, what here is evil?
Oh. All right. You get little flickers of light. It's almost like a beacon of like, kind of like a bright bluish white light, just kind of flick over people's faces, and you see that in the crowd, just scattered, common folk. But you also behind you, up on that ledge where the orc is, and he's like leaving now. He definitely flashes very bright. The elven troops that are coming from ahead of you around the corner, you can see them through the wall. But the biggest flash right now is behind you. This monster that's coming into the pit.
This monster Pederin, I mean, he's real card.
Possibly there's one way behind you that's leaving the arena.
In that case, I turn back to Sarah behind me, and I kind of like pat her on the head. She's like a little halfling girl, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I pat her on the head, a couple times, and I say,
So demeaning.
I say, just stay here. There is something I have to do. And I'm going to take my sword out, take my shield out. And I imagine I don't have a whole lot of time to start putting on my armor, but I'm going to take those out, and I'm jumping back in the pit. I'm going to kill this thing.
Oh, crap. Well, all right then. Sarah, as she sees you jump in the... Because she starts to follow you, and when she sees where you're going, she's like, oh, okay. No problem. And she uses her hobbit ability to disappear into the crowd, right? Maybe. But you jump about 15 feet down into the pit, land, and that's when you see the Cyclops come out of the pit, and he's already like devouring people. So this thing is as big as a cart, as the sizes go, right? If you stood the cart up on end. So if you think D&D terms, it's like a large size creature, and it's all by itself. It's got a huge singular eye in the middle, this horn coming off of its head, and it's holding, of all things, this gigantic like tree trunk in one hand. And it's just screaming and bellowing. It's got these jagged, broken teeth, and it's just, you can see flesh being rent as he picks someone up and just chews their head off. And as you jump down into the pit, you see on the other side, you see Malia, of one of the 20 or so people that fell in the pit, and she's like on the ground, like nursing a leg, and she's trying to crawl away, but she can't seem to stand. And you jump in the pit.
So my question is, do we want to keep playing, or do we want to cliffhanger that right here?
I don't know.
I don't like playing, but...
That would be a pretty good spot for it, but it's up to you.
We could do like end of session stuff, and then it would be like pretty close to game end time. I just think that we've had a couple good ones so far, and I mean, I guess you have most of the stuff worked out, sounds like, for the fight.
It definitely didn't go where I was thinking it was going to be at this point.
Well, now there's like 20 people like in the pit, and things got crazy.
There was going to be one person, now there's 20.
Yeah.
And the fucked up thing is that Sanguinius didn't see any of what Pederin did.
Nope.
So he doesn't know like why these people are in here. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He's being a paladin.
Yeah, I'm gone. He's gone. Everyone's just...
I want to know is, how do we bring Pederin and Leo back? Are they going to come back to the fight, or is Sanguinius just like ultimately boned because he's facing this giant on his own?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's exactly on his own. If he can rally some troops down in the pit,
well,
I would, because we could jump right into it, or we could like talk about it a little bit. Like maybe he can get some henchmen that are people that are down in there.
He can. I am the law.
The rule,
I don't.
There is that. I do have that.
So
yeah, maybe this is the right time for you to reveal yourself and be like, "I'm the law. Everyone, like, attack this thing or something."
I'm okay with doing that if you're okay with it, Lucas.
Yes, I think, and then we'll cliffhanger after that. So we have the Cyclops like is eating someone, and someone is like in his way, and he just casually one-handed golf hand sweeps, and then you see this person just fly right out of the arena, and suddenly like you're standing there, and you look next to you, and Sarah's actually down there next to you. She's like, "What are you gonna do?"
With my shield hand, I grab my cloak and very kind of like anime style, just like, and it falls down probably beside her, maybe like covering part of her, and I just say, "What I was trained to do, to smite evil in all its places. All thee who are in the pit, stand beside and behind me. For I am a paladin of Damas, and I will not see this place littered with the bones and blood of innocents." And I put my sword up right next to my shield, very kind of like Romanesque, and I say,
It's time for you to die, foul creature. And I'll go ahead and do you want me to roll I Am the Law or save it for next time?
I think we're gonna save it for next time.
All right.
Okay.
I see, and like you're. Uh-oh.
We lost someone.
We just we lost our druid to the darkness. He went all the way. He's gone. Dark side.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep, he's dark side now. He's that gangster. He's got a Tommy gun made of stone. He shoots little pebbles.
He won't have missed much, and I'm sure we'll see him in a second if he pops back in. I just wanted to say this. And it's an excellent thing. But as we're still in game, like the paladin is threw his robe aside, and like his like backpack like drops on the ground next to it, so he's unloosened, like some of his armor spills out. And as the conversation, the speech is happening, we see Sarah looking down in... Oh, there you are. We see Sarah looking at your armor as it spills across the ground, and she picks up one of your pug pauldrons, you know, and she's like, oh. She's like looking at it, she's like, huh. And then you see like her hands start glowing like with a silverish light. And she's like, I can help. And then we see the paladin like rear back with his shield and his sword with it finishing his speech. And that's when we fade to be continued. Boom.
All right.
Nailed it. And yeah, nice. That was it. There we are. I think that was a pretty good cliffhanger. I was just getting into it. I was like, oh gosh, where's it going to go? we never know. But
you cliffhangered yourself.
Cliffhanger? I know.
It was a very, very stable session up until the last 20 minutes.
I felt like I was very methodical.
No, you were fine. You
did get a little crazy, yes, but it was still, there was a method to the madness, at least.
You're just a little confused and outrageously brave as far as just stealing clothes off people's backs, literally. Just, whip. Oh, that hammer? Nothing. Just look at these. Chink. I'm out of here. Wee. It's just leaving this poor elven woman. She's getting abused. Man.
So let's do end of session because I only need. Actually, I don't even know if I'm gonna get an XP. But I only need one more to get to level 3. So.
Well, actually, along with the end of session things,
I will ask. Okay, let's do the end of the session things. Then I'll have closing thoughts from everybody. And you two, Neko and Virgil, are in opposite spots on the camera. I don't know if it's going to matter for the end of the stuff, but if you plug your stuff, you might. Virgil, if you want to flip off your camera and back on real quick, you'll be back in the right spot. Did we learn something new? There we go. And important about the world?
We learned that the elven woman named Oresha is the leader of the mining town of Nagarand, and that she is the head of the whole production system there.
Apparently wields magic as well.
That's true, yeah. I don't know that part, but, well, no, I think Malin did say something about that to me.
Yeah.
We also learned that in this place, many different races live and coexist together.
Yep.
Yeah, we learned a ton about the cultures of so many other societies.
Live together in sin.
It's true. It's very true.
Okay, 1 XP for everybody.
Okay, great.
Right.
Level up.
How many level ups do we just get off that?
I leveled up off that.
Perfect. I'll be asking you next session. I'll be asking you like what you gained for your new ability and stuff. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? I think that's about to happen. I don't know if it happened yet.
Nope.
Yeah.
If the monster is the darkness inside you, then Pederin has failed a couple times.
Yeah.
I think.
Nature is a very destructive force. What can you expect?
Nope.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
And did we loot a memorable treasure?
No.
I did loot some
Oh.
pretty good treasure that I think is very valuable because it might be able to get us directly where we need to be. So I would argue that that is pretty epic loot.
clothing with the Awala symbol on it, the Ola symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Ula. Jeez, I'll get it right eventually.
With the like.
Any
La
other
la.
any other votes for nay or yay or nay on that, or another treasure you think you looted? That was memorable.
I mean, Sanguinius didn't. I mean, he lives pretty simply.
Okay. Well, I'll say yes on that because I think, assuming that you don't just you revealed yourself now, and if the whole city doesn't just hunt you down, but you get a chance to escape and then go back in as workers, that whole plan, then yeah. But for now, we don't know that's going to happen, so I'll say yes. And everybody can take a second XP for that one.
All right.
And, I mean, I almost think, but we'll play this next time, with the way the paladin is bellowing, I am the law, there might be a chance that our other heroes happen to hear this so they can participate. But we'll just see what happens next time. So, on behalf of that, of episode 3 of our Dungeon World, I'm lucasgvariety, and I thank you guys for joining us. Anybody watching, thank you very much. Support is always appreciated. And we'll just do some quick outros. Actually, I want to ask before we do the outros, then we'll go. What are Pedrin's thoughts? Like, he's had a lot of things happen since the Griffins in the Woods, through the Buxom Barrels and this woman, to the arena, where you unleash some natural chaos. What's going on in his mind right now? What's his struggle, his personality take, his moral compass? Where's it pointing? What's going on?
To be honest, he's a little ashamed of himself. Well, not a little. He is ashamed of himself.
Is he currently in the moment, or is it something? I mean,
well, he's gonna start feeling it as soon as.
When you're running, you have time to think.
Yeah, while he's running and everything, he's thinking about it and everything, and he's kind of realizing he's really taking on like a very similar kind of idea to Ula. Like, I'm just hoarding up gold. I'm displaying my power.
Wow. Yeah.
And he's like, this isn't right. I shouldn't be doing this.
Maybe it's going to be a Ula versus Sabelix going on in your head here. That could be a very interesting. That could be a very interesting confrontation. Okay, what's Leo thinking? Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
The Manticore versus the Griffin.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be a good battle.
What's going on with Leo as far as from where we started the episode today through the Buxom Barrels and until now?
I think that he's largely reassured that they're doing the right thing, and that this kind of place is going to get worse and worse, and that the temple would just follow suit in the same manner. So I think he's like pretty full steam ahead with the plan and feels good that they're making progress. And I have the idea in my head that I was like, I saw something happening while I was grabbing the stuff, but I had a bunch of people on me, like, why are you stealing my clothes? Why do you have that hammer? So I don't think I know exactly what happened with all the people in the pit and Pedrin's elemental use and the saving of the halfling. I don't think I really know any of that. So I think I'm like running towards the bloody stool with like an arm full of clothes like under my cloak, and I'm like, oh, everything's going so great. I can't wait to meet the guys at the bloody stool. Like, they'll know to come there to meet me. Like, it's the only other place. I'll just go and like, relax and have a good time. They'll be there shortly with no problems or issues.
Sure. None at all. And then finally, Sanguinius, from then till now, till this very moment.
Well, I mean, when he entered the city, even really before then, like after he buried the bodies and he got the cloak out and stuff, he's absolutely hated having to be deceitful in any way, because it goes against like everything that he's heard, and he even for a moment doubted that Damas had said anything about it when he had his vision of Oresha. And now it's like he sees it as there being no way for him to really avoid being who he is, because if he's going to be merciful, then he has to make sure that those around him are being merciful as well, because he, as a paladin, he can't stand to see some sort of injustice done. Like, he can't stand to see a petty thief be slain just for being a thief. Yes, he believes in justice. He believes, he told Sarah, there will be retribution, there will be justice done, but this isn't the way it should be done. He can't stand to see this evil atrocity. And the thought that ran through his head as this whole thing started up is a great sense of anger that propelled him forward to catch her. And then as he got up there and he saw the darkness kind of pop up over this Cyclops' head, he was like, deep in his mind, probably past all of the religious and doctrinal conditioning, he thought, I bet if I kill that thing, there's no one who's going to be able to resist me or my charms. almost like
pride.
Well, like, there is some pride there, yeah, definitely. But it's almost as if like he was thinking, I just gotta, if I'm in prison, I just gotta go up to the biggest guy and punch him in the face, and nobody will fuck with me.
You're like, this is my moment. I have to get this done.
And not only that, but this Cyclops is literally killing potentially innocent people, so it's got to be put down.
Right. That's the other thing, is that we now know that there are some good people, which was another thing we learned about the place, is that it's not like rotten completely, and that
Sanguinius knows this, yeah.
Maybe and I like how you saved you went under the cloak, so to speak, for a while, but it's not really the paladin way. But maybe what he can learn from this is Damas doesn't want you to necessarily be that way either. But it was almost like the way to get inside, and once you're inside, then you can reveal who you are. But he, maybe he'll take away like, hey, if I just walked in like this, I was a dead man. But he showed me another way, or something like that. I guess I'm not really saying it, vocalizing it the way I want. But
sure,
you waited, you played the part, but when you felt the time was right, as part of your mission statement, so to speak, you revealed yourself. So yeah, good. There we are. And well, that was a good time. Oh, I just noticed that actually, you and Neko and Outsider are swift around. All right. Well, take that into consideration as you do your outros. Neko, why don't you go first and say goodnight, and whatever else you want, or good day, I guess, either way.
Well, yeah, good night. I don't have much to say. And yeah, check out the, I don't know, I'm not very creative right now.
That's fine. You're not paid to be
check
creative.
Out the daily rat races. There we go.
All right, and then switch. So, patreon.com, synthesize, Outsider.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Sean. You can find me on patreon.com/synthesize, where I am creating a narratively driven tabletop RPG similar to Dungeon World in some ways, but very different. If you want to check out more on that, that's where to go, patreon.com/SYNTHESIZE. Other than that, I do paid DMing upon request. Just hit me up on Discord, and I'll contact you with my available schedules. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and thanks for tuning in.
All right. Virgil.
Hey, yeah, thanks for tuning in from me as well. And thanks all of you lovely players and GM for playing with me. That was a good one. If people want to check out other stuff I'm doing, my Twitch is Zircon5. twitch.tv/zircon5, and I host when I'm playing games with people. It should be happening more often coming up in the next year. I'm going to be trying to play a few games a week, so you can always catch those on my channel. If you want to see some of the music that I put out pretty often, writing music of all genres, that's at fanburst.com/zircon5. And I do commissions as well if you're working on a project that needs original music of very high quality and of any type. Hit me up at Virgil Levinger on the Twitter.
On Twitter. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And in the description of the video down below, when you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see all these guys' information. Please hit us up. Come in Discord, say hi, tell us what you like and what you don't, and talk to the people. Talk to us. So once again, coming from me, thanks for playing, guys. Everybody out there, thanks for watching. And we will see you next week. And we're going to get this Dungeon World rocking. And we're going to see where our compasses swing high and mighty on the moral compass, and see if these guys are going to fall in darkness, fall to a tree, basically from the Cyclops, or if they're going to rise above everything in victory. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Thanks to everybody. Thank you.
Peace.